Hello, my name's Mandy and this is my channel Make It Sew. So today is Tuesday the 18th of February, so it's my Tuesday Sewing Chats Makes and Plans video, and the week's gone really quickly, but I have managed to make a few things and also purchase a few things, as well as go on a couple of adventures. So I don't do this on every video, but I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who subscribes to my channel, who watches my video. If you're new here, I hope you enjoy my content, and if you've been with me a while, thank you so much. So today I'm going to tell you what I've been up to. So first of all, I spoke to you last Tuesday, so on Wednesday I did a virtual sewing room in the evening, and I started working on one of my makes I'll show you later in the video. And then on Thursday I went back to the charity group I go to in near Dereham in Norfolk, and I finished the Morse bag I started weeks ago because I hadn't been able to go for a few weeks. So I'll put a little picture here. It's not the best picture, but I then gave it to be donated to the hub where everything goes and is handed out to people who need things. So that was really lovely to see everybody. And then on Friday it was Valentine's Day, and my husband and I don't buy for each other. We get each other a card, of course, but as it's my birthday on the 6th of Feb and he's on the 10th, we've already spoilt each other enough, so we just had a card, and then we were travelling down to High Wycombe for the Southern Sewcial. So we got to the hotel quite late, but we had dinner there, so that was really nice. And then on the Saturday morning, I'll be showing you a clip again later, so it all ties in a bit and makes sense to you. But I was cutting out, and then we went and he dropped me off at the Southern Sewcial. I really had a lovely time. The only problem was on the Friday night we went to bed, and at midnight I had earplugs in and something woke me up, and the next thing we knew the fire alarm was actually going off. So the first thought of my mind was, I can't go out in my fluffy aristocrat pyjamas. So I had to put my boots and coat on really quickly, and we were still probably one of the first people to get outside, and no one was really telling us what was happening. So about 10 minutes later, half asleep, we were told it was a false alarm and we could all go back to bed. And of course my mind had woken up again, so it did take me a little while to get back to sleep, so I was a bit bleary-eyed Saturday morning. So I went to the Southern Sewcial, which is near High Wycombe. It's about half an hour drive where we'd stayed, and I met Sam from Sequin Girly again, so it was really great to see her, and it was great to see everybody in the Sewcial. There's a few people I know, and I know also some people who watch this channel, so hello. And also Laura from So Very Laura, who's a good friend of mine, was coming as well. So she got there a little bit later than me, and I was also half an hour late because of traffic and still trying to cut out my garment I wanted to make. So I think for the first hour and a half I probably didn't even switch my machine on because I was talking to everyone, and that's what socials are about. I can't just go there and put my head down. I really like talking to fellow sewists, and it was great to catch up with them all and to find out what everyone else was making. And I got to meet a lovely lady called Jo, who I sat opposite, and Laura came and sat with me when she arrived, and I did finally start some sewing. And then 2 stitches in, my needle broke on my bonnet and I couldn't get the needle out. I have a metal plate on it like all machines, but for some reason the screw just would not come undone. It was so tight, and it was really lovely because everyone was trying to undo it for me. Sam Sequin Girly come along and she tried to help me, give me a few other ideas, and everyone had their screwdrivers at the ready, and that's what the sewing community is about. Everyone's there to help each other, and we still couldn't get it out. So it wasn't making any funny noises by putting another needle in the machine and sewing, so I did carry on making my garment because otherwise I had cross stitch to do, but that wouldn't have been quite as productive as what I'd wanted to be that day. So I carried on sewing. And then when we got home, my husband had to use a ratchet with a screwdriver head on to get the screw out. And I'm going to show you where the needle ended here. How it got there, I don't know. That's probably why the machine didn't mind sewing still, but obviously I didn't want to leave it too long before I got that needle out, because I knew it was quite a big piece of needle that had broken in there. I had some tips on the virtual sewing room that I attended recently, and there was a good tip about laying the needle flat on a flat surface or on top of your sewing machine from Sparkle with Sam. And that's a good thing, because I think maybe what happened was the needle was slightly bent. I don't know, but I only done 2 stitches, and you can imagine the world ended for a few minutes, because I thought, what am I going to do now? I want to sew. So that was my summer social. But also there was a swaps table there, which actually helped me quite a bit, and I will show you what came in the sewing room from there later. And I also won a raffle prize. And I've still got my ticket somewhere, because I was so surprised when Sam said my number that I kept it as a little reminder. So I'll show you that in a minute as well. On Monday I was actually hosting the virtual sewing room. Jenny has just gone to Australia for a few weeks, so we have been left in charge, and it was my first real solo one where I was the only host actually attending the session as well. So that did go really well, and I didn't do any sewing. There was no way I could have concentrated on that as well. So I did a lot of organising. When I came back from my social at the weekend, I got back in my room and I realised what a mess it had become just from trying to sort out what pattern I was going to use, because I didn't really make a decision until very last minute on Friday. And just the fact that I'd got things out, as you do. Creative mess commenced, and it was awful. I could not work with it that bad. So I spent Monday morning actually tidying up, and then while I was hosting the virtual, I was putting things away where they should go. So that was really enjoyable, and I carried on afterwards, and then I carried on sewing the garment from the social. And I also spoke to my lovely friend Clare, and also to Sam from Sew Let's Sparkle with Sam last night, so we carried on sewing then as well. And today I finished one of the garments I'm going to show you. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the toile I was going to do for the Heyday Dungarees. And this is a pattern I've had in my collection for a long time. I can't remember how long, but it's been sitting there with the idea of making some. But I was put off a bit because I didn't know if dungarees would suit me. But this happened to me with jumpsuits, and then I made the Sewcial jumpsuit, and I've got 5 lots of it now. So I looked at the Heyday dungarees, and they're actually designed for someone who's 5'5". So I knew straight away, being 5'8", that they wouldn't be long enough. So I knew I would have to lengthen them. But there's a couple of lengthened lines, and I'm hoping this doesn't rustle too much, but I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So my first worry was that it wouldn't be big enough round the curve from my front to back region. So what I did was I actually added 2 inches onto the waist. So I thought straight away that would drop that curve slightly. And then I also thought that the legs aren't going to be long enough either. So again, I'm sorry if this rustles. I've tried everything today that doesn't rustle, but I couldn't really do it with a paper pattern. I also added 1 inch onto the leg just to make sure that they were long enough. And I'm going to show you some pictures of me in the toile. And I thought I'd actually, because of adjusting the length, adjusted the position of the pockets, but unfortunately I didn't. But to me, this was a toile. I didn't expect to ever go and be seen outside in it, except maybe in the garden. and it gave me the knowledge to know that it was going to fit me properly when I cut into my cord fabric. So besides as you'll see, besides the pockets being a bit low on my butt, I think they come out really well. And I even put a label on, I even did the pockets, and with a toile you don't always have to do all the extra bits, but I really wanted to see where the position of the pockets were, so it definitely taught me I need to move them up a bit on the bottom and possibly up an inch on the front. But they are such a comfortable wear, and the pattern is so easy to follow. I didn't get stuck on any of the instructions. I've got them here, so this is the picture of the pattern you get. I did a size extra large and it goes up to a 7 extra large. Quite a good size inclusive pattern. I used stretch denim from Legend Textiles, and I added overall 3 inches on the length. It is a very relaxed fit, but I don't think it looks too baggy, and I like it. So here they are. This is the label I used from Cozy Club Handmade, and it says Lovely Jubbly. And the stretch denim was a bit of a monkey when it come to doing the straps. It did like to curl, but I used Mariflex for this. I used my normal machine, and you'll see I done all the pockets. I'm hoping this comes up because it's a dark fabric. And then the front pockets are there, and then you've got the big pocket as well. I just really like how they fit, so I'm definitely going to be making the cord pair now. So that's my first make. So the second make I managed to complete today is the Helens Closet Jackson pullover. Now here's a picture of the pattern. You can have the Jackson tee or the Jackson pullover. So I bought that pattern from Helen's Closet, and then they brought out a free extension pack, and it is for a hood. So I thought, after deliberating over several patterns for my husband, I didn't have the right 4-way stretch medium weight fabric they wanted for another pattern I was going to do him. I decided on this one, and so I didn't actually get to cut it out before I went, because although I had his basic body measurements on my stash hub, I hadn't done the sleeve length, whether the biceps would be big enough, and the overall length of the top. I hadn't measured it on him to see where it sat. So this is when you're going to see a little clip of me cutting it out and how I came to make it the size I did. So I'm going to put the clip here, or even in front of you here, and have a watch of that, and then I'll talk to you and show you the garment. Good morning, it is Saturday the 15th of February and I am in a hotel room. I ran out of time to cut out my project for my Southern Sewcial visit today, so I'm going to be adapting our room. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. So this is the table. I've managed to clear it, and I'm making the Jackson pullover with hood extension for my husband, who is willingly coming onto the camera. So I'm just going to measure him first, and then you'll see me trying to cut out on this table. It's not the widest, and unfortunately the lamp is connected to the wall, so is the kettle base, but we are sewists after all, so we adapt to these situations. So come along with me and I'll show you what I do. So it says that the sleeve length for the pullover for your size, which I'm doing, is 21.25 inches. So just looking at the sleeves, they sort of sit here where your t-shirt is, so that's very handy. So if I start there, straight please. That is 22 there. You are awkward. 21.25, which would be there. So
That's not too
you need
bad.
to add 3 1/4 inches, so I might as well add 1 inch for that.
Inch to that.
So I haven't got a pen have I? Somewhere. So 1 inch to your sleeve, and then your biceps are going to be 16.5. So that's just where your sleeve is, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yuppie. Don't flex them.
Don't squeeze tight then.
That is 12, so you're good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to do that. And then the length of D is 27.25. Now, they go by, if you face me, by this bit here. So 21.25. Oh, crikey, what? Did I read that right? No, I didn't, did I? 27. God, my eyesight.
So please.
27.25, which is there. So would you not want it the same length as your t-shirt?
It would be nice.
So you need it to be 29. Okie dokie. Let's go. So when I'm at home, I would normally put a piece of paper, the measurement of what I want to extend it by, but I am doing it in a hotel room and I don't have my tracing paper. So what I'm going to do is pin this to the fabric on the fold. It'll be that way, and then I will measure the gap between the top bit and the bottom bit of the bodice and just increase the length and just cut out with that extended bit on. So here it is, and I will take some pictures of my husband wearing it, but he's not home from work yet, so by the time I get to edit this today, hopefully he'll be home. So this is the Jackson hoodie, and again, I don't know how good it's going to be on camera, but it's in this lovely bottle green sweatshirting I found in my loft, so bonus, it was something I already had. And I decided to do grommets in the actual hood, and I had a lace. I used to use these quite a lot for ties and drawstrings because I just like how it's already got the end piece on so it doesn't fray. The lining, so you didn't get to see much else of me like when I finished cutting out because the time had come to go to the Southern Social and I was late. So I had this jersey in my stash, and when I picked it up to actually take it to the Southern Social, I didn't realise how awkward it was going to be to cut it out. And I'm going to show you it and then show you what I used instead. So it was this grey jersey, and I don't know if you'll appreciate how thin it is, but you can see just from me dangling it in front of the camera that it's not exactly got much structure to it at all. And while it is obviously stretchy, it's not the best thing to be sewing with. I can't remember where I got this from. I probably got it when I was first looking at jersey fabrics and didn't have an idea of what I needed. So that was what I cut out at the time, and it was awful to cut out. I just could not get straight edges or anything. So luckily, at the Southern Social, there was a swaps table, and people also put on their remnants of things they were cutting out there or at home. And remnants are like a bit like rubbish, that one man's trash is another man's treasure. And that was exactly the situation with this one. And it just happened to be the colour that I was cutting out. But you'll see straight away how much more of a structure that has got. It's still obviously stretchy, it's a jersey. I don't know if it's a jersey or a ponte, but it's got so much more of a recovery than the other one. And I just thought that would be perfect to do the hood lining. Again, you don't have to do a hood lining if you don't have drawstring, but I wanted to do that. So here it is, all inside. So on this one, the Jackson, you have this lovely crossover detail. So one of the drawstring eyelets is there and the other one's there when you actually sew it together. But if I can show you, it's got like this crossover underneath. So I think that's really good. and it was such an easy pattern to follow. I know we all say that other pattern companies hold your hand with the instructions, but they really did. They even said on the hemband that it might end up a bit bumpy, and not to worry because it normally sorts itself out once you've given it a good wash. So they just reassure you as you go along, and I just love that in a pattern company. You'll see I just done normal cuffs again in the sweatshirting, and I did the lovely kangaroo pocket, and then I decided to add this label. I just thought that went really nicely, and I hadn't done it where I would normally do it, and because it isn't a fold over label, I just thought that looked really nice. So overall, I love this pattern. I'm hoping it fits him okay. He did have a little try on last night, but that was before I'd put the bands on, and it seemed okay. So fingers crossed it fits. I'm so chuffed I found this in my loft, and I have still got some more left. So I think he's going to like that, and I love the colour. So that was my makes this week. So what else came into the sewing room this week? Well, as well as the grey fabric I used as a lining for my Jackson hoodie, I also picked up another offcut from the swaps table, and it was this. And it is a teal cord, needle cord, and there's only 2 pieces like this there. But what I thought was this would be enough to make another bestie bag, which would actually coordinate with the Heyday Dungarees I'm planning to make in a similar colour cord, and some other makes that I've got planned. So I thought that would be reused, so I think that would be great, just using up offcuts. And then I won the raffle, and what I won was this beautiful viscose, and I'm going to hold it up for you. So it's got a great contrasting background colour, it's black, and then you've got these gorgeous yellow and orange and red flowers, and I think I've got about 2.5 meters of this, and it's quite a wide fabric as well. So although I say I'm not buying any more fabric, I think I can get away with this one because I won it as a prize, and the raffle's actually included in the price of the Sewing Social, so I was so chuffed I won. And then I met Laura there as well from So Very Laura, and as it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago, she bought me a gift, and she knows I love purple, so she got me a couple of different buttons. So you've got this one here, which is this polka dot one, and then she got me a set of these ones which are striped, and they've got a totally different shank to normal in that they haven't got the holes, they've got this little like thread through piece, so I think they're quite good. I'm sure they've got a certain name to them, but if you know what it is, let me know in the comments. And she also knows that I've been getting into my bag making recently, and she found this shoulder strap. Again, I've taken out the packaging so it doesn't make too much noise, but I thought that's quite a nice size, and it's quite a sturdy strap that I could add to another bag in the very near future. So thank you very much, Laura, for those, and thank you, Sequin Girly Sam, for the raffle. The next one, you're going to wonder what on earth I was thinking when I bought it. A couple of weeks ago again, I went shopping with a friend near my birthday, and I found this, and I thought this would be a great tool for my sewing room. And it's this. It's a hammer and a screwdriver set. It probably cost about £4, but I just thought that whenever I'm doing things like eyelets that need a bit of a bash, the normal sized hammers that my husband have are just not fit for the job. They're too big and they can be a bit brutal and bend the metal. I've already used this, I better not hold that up, it looks quite lethal, doesn't it? But I've already used this with the eyelets for the Jackson hoodie, so I can vouch for it, it worked. And for £4, that's a great little asset to my sewing room. And it came in this foam casing, so I keep it in there just to stop it scratching anything. But I must have been mad, but I'm glad I did it. And then the next thing I bought were some zips and zip pulls. And the main reason for this was for the Styla Taos, because I needed some zip to match the fabric I'm using. But originally, what I did was I ordered a zip, and then I also ordered some zip pulls to match. But while I was on Jean's site, because these are all from Jean Dove, who's Dove's Bag Bits and Polish Pulls, I found these and I thought these would be great. If you can see them, I'm hoping you can, for when I'm doing bags, because there's a handbag and a shoe. If I show you the right way, there we go. Sorry about that, my dog started barking because my neighbours were coming in and she likes to let me know. So yeah, so I got these lovely handbag pull tags with the shoes, and I also got them in this gorgeous rainbow colour. Where is it? That way. They're actually double-sided, so it doesn't matter really what side I show you. And I also bought some more purple zippers, because I've still got lots of the purple tape I bought before. And I bought this lovely blue, which is that one. I just like how solid they are, and they feel very solid when they go on the zips. Unfortunately, Jean, bless her, sent me originally some purple zipper tape, but she's been going through a lot at the moment, so I totally understand. But she was so good. Her customer service is second to none. Bearing in mind she is just a one-woman band. She was really prompt, and she said she would send me the colour I'd ordered straight away, which was next day. So I only had to wait a couple of days to get the blue version. And I feel a bit bad about her doing this, but I will be making sure I order a lot more and recommend her to everyone, because her customer service, like I've said, is really good and nothing's too much trouble. I did also order some little bag feet, but they are quite small compared to what I thought, but I probably should have looked at the measurements before I ordered them, but they will come in handy for something, I'm sure. So thank you so much, Jean. It was really kind of you to sort that out so quickly for me. So other than that, that's it for what I bought. So what are my plans for this week coming? So tonight I've got a virtual sewing room session, and I am going to try and start on the Styla Taos, but if I can't concentrate, then I'm going to do some cutting out, and that'll be for my Heyday dungarees. So next week hopefully I'll get to show you my Heyday dungarees, and I won't be able to show you the Taos top yet, but the collaboration will be soon, so I can show you then. I've also got a couple of other things I need to be cutting out really. I'm doing a Sew Frugal vlog soon, and I'm incorporating something I need to make with for that, so watch this space. Also, I've got the rest of the week off till Saturday night, so I'm going to do lots of sewing. It's half term here in the UK, so my daughter and I have been doing bits together as well. And then on Monday I am hosting another virtual sewing room, so if you haven't been before and you want to join me, please do. And then I'm going to be filming, so it's not like anything set in stone, but there will be plenty of sewing done. So I forgot to tell you that my Benina has also gone off for repair, because unfortunately after breaking those needles when I was sewing up the Annette commuter tote, it's not been playing fairly, and I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but the pedal decided to keep going when I stopped pressing it with my foot. So when I was doing the Heyday dungarees, pivoting around the pockets was very challenging because it wasn't stopping. It would, one minute it would let me stop it, the next minute it wouldn't, and I don't know if the two are connected. I have cleaned out the pedal as much as I could, and I just obviously am aware that there's still a bit of a needle in the machine, so if I leave it in there too long it's going to cause more damage. So I emailed David Drummond and they said give us a ring and we'll sort out a collection for you, and as usual they're brilliant. I just packaged my Benina up in its original packaging, did what they told me to do, taped a few bits up to stop them falling out. And that got collected literally at 9 AM Monday morning, which is brilliant. So I'm waiting for that call in anticipation. It's a bit like when you have a car go in for MOT and you worry what it's going to fail on. I'm just hoping that there's not too much damage and that it might just be for the pedal a slight connection issue. But it did also affect my needle going up and down and actually starting to sew. So I knew that I needed to get that sorted, and I know that David will sort that out. So it's gone all the way to Edinburgh. So I'm just waiting for him to call me now. I'll let you know what they say next time. Thank you so much to everyone who's commented on my last video. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. And if you don't subscribe already, please subscribe to my channel and help me grow. So if you can find any time to sew this week, make it so. Bye for now.